Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. Thank you for tuning in. I can see from the YouTube stats we've got a few of you watching, so I do appreciate it. Jake, I think that's who Fancy is. Cheers for posting a message. Anybody else is watching, post in chat so I know who's there and that you tuned in for what is going to be the ultimate excitement for your Saturday. We're going to announce the running order of the track. So the last stream we did is where we randomly selected the lucky community combos that were going to be used for the scoring rounds. Myself and Roy from RPM League have worked out a running order, so we'll get that up on the screen shortly. And then once we've done that, we will do the driver to server assignment. So let's roll those intros, and we can then start giving you all that wonderful information. So Jake, you're the only one that's responded in chat, so the onus is on you, good sir, or anybody else who's watching, of course. If you could just confirm that the mic is coming through okay. We had some clipping issues, so I've adjusted and tweaked and turned off a few things. So hopefully we're not going to get that mic clipping that we had before. So yeah, do post a little message if the audio is coming through okay. Let's try a little bit of background music whilst we're doing this. Oh, cheers, man. That was a rapid response. Cheers, sir. And again, if the background music is a little bit overwhelming, just shout and we'll turn it off completely. Anyway, on your screen there, we have got the running order for it's essentially 10 rounds. We've got the prologue, then we've got 8 scoring rounds, and then we've got the finish on a high round. Cheers, Jake. Really appreciate you posting that. So the prologue is what we're kind of all gearing up to, and that's what we're doing this driver to server assignment for today. The reason for streaming is we'll hopefully build a little bit of hype for you guys to get excited about, but also so that it's quite clear that I'm not doing any naughtiness or tweaking or adjusting or doing anything like that to suit my own wants or desires for who goes where. So yeah, we live stream it, and hopefully you can see that none of that is going on. Anyway, back to the running order. So the Prologue is the Opala 86 at Goiania. It's a car that we don't race very often, but it really does lend itself to some nice close racing. Round 1, NRT is going to be, or their combo rather, is going to be used for round 1. That's the Ultima GTI race at Termas de Rio Honda. A really nice wide track, and the Ultima GTI race, despite being rather well equipped with the old horsepower, is a pretty stable car. So we thought that would be a pretty reasonable start to the championship, and hopefully it all get us used to racing in a scoring situation close together and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, round 2 is AMS2CC combo. That's the BMW M1 Pro car at Kyalami 76. I hope you like drafting down that long straight. It's going to be a good combo, that one. Stock car 2019 for Slipstream, and they're using Watson Glen short layout, and that is also in the link. That will be round 3 on the 8th of October. Round 4 is the Mini JCW, and that's at Curvello Long, and that was put forward by MVRC. Then we get an open wheel. This is, I think, going to be one of the hardest races. My feeling is, given that 4 drivers score, all 4 drivers that are part of the team score, that finishing round 5 is going to be pretty critical. I think there could be a lot of DNFs. But the Formula Classic Gen 1's pretty tricky car, H-Pan, lots of horsepower, nominated by Club 50, and that's going to a street circuit. Yes, Adelaide historic, big sausage curbs, walls nearby. Yeah, I think driving at 80% and getting to the end might be the order of the day on that one. Then we go to round 6, but that is SRGP's GT1s at Le Mans 24 Hour. That could end up with maybe not that many people finishing, depending on if you run too low a radiator or something like that. That could mean mechanical failures could be an issue in that if people try and make their car super fast down the straights. Then round 7, the penultimate round, will be from RPM League, and that is a Lamborghini Super Trofeo at Road Atlanta. And the final scoring round, KCSR LMP2 Gen 2, and that will be at Sebring. So yeah, we tried to mix stuff up, kind of not put really hard stuff next to each other or that sort of thing. So we think we put in quite a good order. And the final round, after all the scoring is done, the championship is essentially over. We have a finish on a high, and we've done that in every championship. And that is a combo that is yet to be chosen, and that will be on the 7th of Jan. Right, anyway, enough of my waffling. Let's move on to the driver to server assignment. Now, because obviously on the stream and people might be using mobiles and stuff like that, I've tried to make this as big as possible. So what have we got? At the bottom here, right at the bottom, we've got all the different tabs for the different rounds. So here's the Prologue tab. And then at the top here, we've got a checkbox, which is what I will actually use to trigger the randomization. And then all the drivers that are racing for the team. So there's 10T's drivers, AMS2CC drivers, Club 50s, KCSRs, MVRCs. They've got plenty of reserves, 2 reserves for MVRC. Nomad Racing Team. Now, we'll just stop that Nomad Racing Team because one team SRGP, oh, excuse me, little hiccup. One team SRGP have only got 3 drivers for the Prologue, which is fine, it's not a scoring round. So I put Nessie here, you can see in red, as we moved over to race for SRGP. That's something we allow in the championship. Drivers who are reserves for teams who've got access drivers. If there's a team who is short, they can move over with the consent of both teams to race for them. I haven't had a confirmation for Nessie, and I always do ask, but time was short, so I know Nessie's used to doing this sort of thing, so fingers crossed he doesn't mind. But that's why it also automatically highlights him there in red, so you can see that he is not an SRGP driver, he is dropping in to help SRGP. Anyway, there we've got the RPM drivers, Real Racing Club, Sim Racing Italia, that's RRC, SRGP, Semi-Slip Racing, that's SSR, Slipstream, here they got 2 reserves as well, fantastic. New Community, the Racing Engineers, fabulous, the largest turnout from the Racing Engineers, they have got 7 drivers, put forward 3 reserves, and finally we've got a 3 independents listed there. So, as I say, we have each team puts 4 drivers, there's 2 drivers for each server, and they are randomly allocated. Any reserves get put into the pool of independents and reserves that you can see here, and they take up the spare slots on the server. Okay, so 12 communities, 4 drivers each, that's 24 drivers that are per server for the teams. As the servers we're going to allow, we're going to test with 32. There's a broadcaster, so that gives us 31 slots, 21 used for the 24 rather used for the communities. So for masses, right, that is 7 slots per server, free for the reserves and the independents and things like that. Fortunately, I've counted them all up and we've got enough slots for everybody. Oh, hey Roy, cheers for tuning in, sir. Anyway, enough of my... I do talk a lot, don't I? I do talk a lot. Anyway, when I click this little button here, that's going to randomise everything. So this first press I'm going to click just to show you what it does. So this is not the official randomisation. So here we go, just to show you. And there's a couple of things I want to highlight to you. So why has it put myself in orange there and Roy in orange there? So to ensure that the servers are run as good as we can hope, the servers that we use are my server and Roy's server. And as we are literally in the same building as those servers are located, we need to ensure that I am always assigned to my server and Roy is always assigned to his server. So the draw is random except for 2 people, and those people are me, I'm always assigned to server 1, and Roy is always assigned to server 2, and that's how we did it last year. And that just allows us to get guarantee a really good connection. There you can see, look, you've got Linus Falamento and Redacted on server 1, and Prue and Bluefair on server 2. Now if I untick that box and put it back on again, hopefully, I was done the same again the second time, let's do it a third time, don't do it a third time, do something different. Yes, it was random. Linus Falamento and Prue, and then Redacted and Bluefair on server 2. So you can see how it is random. The only people that aren't random are myself and Roy. Again, you can see we highlight Nessie there because he's racing for SRGP, despite the fact he's not an SRGP driver. That's just so it's clear what's going on. And then down the bottom in the slightly different blue colours, we've got all the independent drivers and reserves drivers. So those that aren't scoring for a team, they all get allocated at the bottom. They're still assigned to a server, but they won't be scoring for their teams. Right, now that we've shown you how to do it, the next time we click on that button will be the official click. So let's do that now. Good luck, hopefully you get the server that you want to. The reason why we randomise it is that so you race with different people each race. And you might be racing against your closest competitor in the championship, or you might not be. It just adds that little bit of dynamic nature to the competition. So here we go. Right, let's have a look then. So for 10T on server 1, they've got Prue and Redacted, and on server 2, they've got Linus and Bluefair. For AMS2CC, as we know, I'm going to be on server 1 with Franco, and Grandpa Bear and Pavel will be on server 2. For Club 50, we've got Uwe on server 1 with Chris Bloom, and Steve Kenwood and Penjo on server 2. KCSR, Johnny B and Glenn on server 1, Blankfile and Bruce on server 2. MVRC is Minimus and S2000 on server 1, and Slayer and Savage Paddy on server 2. NLT, Chris and Badoshk is server 1, Tinez and Tony on server 2. RPM, we've got Roy in the chat, so as you know, Roy's going to be on server 2, and he will be joined by Raptor, and on server 1 will be Rocco and Jake. Cheers, Jake's tuned in as well, so Jake, you are with your teammate Rocco on server 1. RRC, Mattia and Mauro on server 1, Michelle and Salvatore on server 2. SRGP, we've got Carapau, who is racing with Messi, who will be racing for SRGP, and that's on server 1. And then on server 2, that is Andy GH and Ricky Zotto. SSR, Dikra and Caffalo on server 1, Dustin and Domschke on server 2. Slipstream, we've got Martin Bud and Orkai on server 1, and Laurie and Chris Jazza on server 2. And finally, TRE, we've got Hairy Bones and Nonny Rat on server 1, and Dundun Gizmo and Grumpy on server 2. So then we've got the server, so we have a spare slot, so everybody who put their name forward is racing. Nobody has been left out. So it's really nice to achieve that. So the reserves, again, these are randomly done. So these, although they are drivers for, although they are part of teams, as it were, part of a community, the following drivers in blue at the bottom are not scoring for a community. Not that this is a scoring round, it's just a test. So on server 1, let's go through all of those. We've got Karazida from MVRC, Tom from TRE, Flip Flops from MVRC, Simulator's Arms from Slip and and Harm from TRE. And then Independence joining them is Neon Dream, and Chris is joining them as Independent. All those are on server 1. And then on server 2, we've got 10T Dazads, Lazan from AMSU, Tex from KCSR, Silver from Slipstream, Jacob from TRE, and then an independent Fabry Towers there as well. Right, that is the end of that stream, pretty much. So you can see where everybody's going to, every driver is assigned to a server. As soon as I get that all put on Discord in a post on Discord, we'll open up the server so you can start signing up to them. If it doesn't let you sign up to the servers, it's probably because I've got a role not assigned to you properly on the Discord. So just let me know if you're trying to sign up and it won't let you. Please do make sure you do sign up to the correct server. As I say, thank you for watching the stream. This is just to document that we've done it fairly. I will do a Discord post with all that information on, and hopefully within, hopefully within the next hour or two, I'll have that done and I'll be able to open up the registrations for the Prologue. Right, 8 million of you watching at the end there. Cheers everybody for tuning in. That was definitely 34 minutes, including all the intro music, of thorough excitement to brighten up your Saturday. It is appreciated that you joined in, guys, and I am really quite hyped for the start of the championship. Well, the first Prologue test anyway, on the 27th in just a few days' time. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.